Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. A reminder before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now, yesterday's news coming out of ESPN, I've got to credit that, and also around big figures in the league that is the NBA, that expansion looks like it is finally going to take place. The NBA is going to take its number of teams up from 30 to 32, with two new franchises being included or being introduced. I say new franchises, definitely in sort of inverted commas, because one of the franchises that is rumoured, or it looks like is going to go ahead, is the Seattle Supersonics, who of course will return to the league after being, moved out of Seattle in 2008 in order to move to Oklahoma City, become the Oklahoma City Thunder. It looks like the Supersonics will be going back to the league. I thought it was a really good thing as well that obviously because of the lawsuits surrounding them, they are going to be still claim or still have the history of the original franchise, which I think is fantastic for them and fantastic for them to build that fan base. Of course, there is that new arena there as well, so they will have that. It was built for the Seattle Kraken, so that will be where they play their games. That was always what was levelled at the Supersonics, that the key arena wasn't up to scratch. Now they've got this new arena, the Climate Edge or Climate Energy Arena, so that's where they're going to be playing their games. And as well, Las Vegas is going to have a franchise. Now, why Las Vegas? Well, I think there's two things in play here. One, because the NBA has seemingly wanted Las Vegas for a long time now, and of course they had. Vegas has been the host of the NBA Summer Tournament and also the NBA Cup. You know, both have been these sort of Comic-Con-like introductions where these big fanfares where fans from all over come to Las Vegas. Is it any wonder they wanted to put a franchise there? And as well, it's worth remembering Las Vegas has become sort of a beacon out of nowhere in American sport. Of course, the Raiders play there. We saw them make some huge moves in free agency. Yes, they've not been great, but the Allegiant Stadium is there now. They've also got the Athletics, looks like they're going to be coming there in the MLB. And now it feels inevitable that there will be an NBA team there as well. What I hope for, or what are other interesting facts of this? Well, I think one thing that I hope for is a change to the schedule, to be honest with you. This feels like ample opportunity now to have each team play each other home and away. Let's do that. Let's have 62-game regular season, because at the minute, it feels like there's a lull in the season. And you get these quite often in the NBA, where you just get a bit of a lull, and then you sort of start looking at the playoffs and you count it down. It'd be nice to have more regular season games with more meaning. And I think with less and more condensed schedule, you will no doubt have that, because there's bound to be more on the line potentially. As well, I think another thing that is interesting about this is obviously the expansion draft. Now, last time there was a expansion, the Charlotte Hornets, in 2004, there was an expansion draft held. The rules around that in 2004 were that each franchise could select 8 players that it would protect in this draft. The rest would sort of be free agents or restricted free agents and would go up for these new teams. I think in 1996, when it was the Grizzlies and I can't remember who the other team was, but when it was the Grizzlies, it was done by coin toss, and then, they went in order to pick. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they do that, the expansion draft, and what happens there, because I think a lot of people were looking, and probably other franchises will be looking and going, who are we going to protect and who maybe can we afford to lose? I do like this part about American sport, I can't lie. It's tricky for me, because I think on the one hand, as an English sports fan, we obviously have our football pyramid. We did have our rugby pyramid until the whack jobs in charge took over and started fiddling with it. But we have that, so we don't have this franchise system. I do like the idea of an expansion draft, though. It really does intrigue me. And I think by 2028, which it's understood when these teams will join, it's going to be really interesting to see how they look and which players could be available to them. I think as well, the owners understandably have gone for this because it's going to make their franchises more valuable, and they're maybe going to pocket 500 million from this. So, of course, they're going to go for it. It's a really interesting move. I think, like I say, it's good to have the Supersonics back, because anyone who speaks or anyone who knows anything about basketball knows the real ill feeling that Seattle fans had of the Supersonics leaving that city. It was really, it hurt them. Of course it did. It's a massive city to not have a basketball team. What I think is as well interesting is Adam Silver has clearly got ideas on expansion to the NBA. There's NBA Europe. We don't know what's going on there. There's talk of what's going to happen with that. There's other potentials. Will Vancouver happen? Who knows? It's Mexico City as well has been mentioned. It seems to be that maybe not necessarily this. I think 32 is it. I think that should be it. But it's interesting to see that they have decided to do this now, and it will be very interesting to see what happens for the league's future. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated. Try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. As always, have a great day.